Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the All Balls Sports Show, a discussion of any and all sports, local, regional, and national. And now, here are your hosts, Dan James, Eddie Bobo, Ty Cobb, and the coach, Vance Ballou.
Thanks, Phil Jones. Welcome in, everybody. Thursday evening, and glad to have you along. And we got guys on the program. We need to do some catching up from being gone over the entire holiday period of time. And you haven't been here, Mack Raegen, for about a year.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Let's do some catching up. Son Bruno played for Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Went and tried out with the NFL.
Correct.
Came back, started a dojo.
Yep.
In Clarksville.
Yep. We're opened up Raegen Martial Arts.
Yeah. Then he gets called up for the XFL.
Got drafted in the XFL.
Yeah.
And he's had a mini camp in St. Louis, which where they play out of.
Right.
I think they were there the first couple of weeks in December, and then he returned for their camp where all their teams are at in Houston. I think he's been starting pretty much since the first week there, so he's doing really well. Always knew he'd do well once he got on the field. He's a big, strong athlete, so smart. I think they ship out next Monday or Tuesday, and they go back to St. Louis, and I think we're transporting his car on the weekend. So,
oh, okay.
They just flew everybody out, but yeah, he's doing really well.
So he doesn't get the NFL spot. Then he comes up with this idea: let's create Raegen Martial Arts. Now he does have some other folks involved with Raegen Martial Arts.
That's
You for one.
Well, I'm just a throw-in guy. I'm just there. If we have to
throw-in or throwing guy.
Well, same thing. But it's pretty unique. It's good. I always ran the club, probably 10 years, and he always helped me. But now I'm just a guy that helps him. He'll be gone for probably 4 months, and then once he comes back, he'll either end up in an NFL camp or he'll probably travel. I think his goal someday is to probably do the Olympics, in judo. After football's over. You can only play football for so many years, but most of the guys that are playing the XFL are ex-NFL guys. So it's hard to find someone like him that just came straight out of college and instantly bumped up to a starting lineup. Excuse me. So he's done really well, and I think that'll shock a lot, and he'll probably get a shot back in the NFL.
But like you said, he started out at the bottom with the XFL. Now he's worked his way up into positions.
I believe that he started running first team after the first week, and he told me he was probably the last offensive lineman on the depth chart when he got there.
Cool.
So he's done well. He moves quick.
So what position on the offensive line?
They're playing him at left guard. And he will be probably their backup center, I'm guessing, because usually you flip a guard into center when you need somebody. And he played one of those two positions as senior year. He can play all three of the interior positions.
Okay, cool, excellent. Coach over here has a unique situation where seems that your youngest got engaged last weekend.
He did. Down in Rome, Georgia. She's from Rome, Georgia, and she's a PE teacher and basketball, tennis coach. So
good for him.
Yeah, so we're excited for him.
It's not like it was a surprise. Could not have been a surprise because all of you went.
No, it wasn't a surprise. I don't. Of course, they've made plans, but she didn't know she was getting the ring, which he did. So that part was a surprise for her. But so we were all there. Bryant and his family got to come down and stayed at the hotel and watched the Titans win Saturday night, and then he proposed on Sunday. So good trip.
All right, good deal. Over the holidays, your son ended up going to Kuwait.
Yeah, the whole 82nd.
Oh, with the entire 82nd.
Right.
Okay. Well, see, you didn't tell me not to say anything.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
But anyway.
Forget what you just
Bleep.
heard. Yeah. Anyway, anything new with you?
No, same old.
Except us watching football games and doing stuff. So anyway.
That's it. Watch championship game together. So.
That's the good life, right?
Now, here's the thing that came up in conversation with a lot of sports shows this past this past first part of the week. Having a championship game on a Monday night that runs until approximately 11 o'clock or maybe a little bit later seems a little bit long when you start at 7 o'clock.
You think?
Yeah.
Two passing offenses are going to have over a 4-hour game.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you'll find interesting about the XFL. Their games are going to be probably in the 2.5-hour range.
Really?
They've speeded them up.
That is good.
10-minute halftime. Yeah, so everything's quick.
Well, is that going to end up spoiling the NFL because all of a sudden the fan base is going to be expecting shorter games?
Well, right now the NFL is so popular they don't really care. You know, they do what they want and everybody just sort of falls in. But I think you'll see everything go to that way. That's the reason a lot of people are finding soccer as an attractive sport to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2 hours and you're done.
Yeah.
You know,
Clock don't stop.
watch a game and you got the rest of your day.
And it's like rugby.
Yeah,
You know, clock starts unless you got an injury, it doesn't stop.
exactly. So I think that it will affect it. I think they'll change a lot of the things. 25-second clock.
Right.
So everybody's gone to this spread offense where they're meeting at the line of scrimmage. Anyway, you never see anybody like the old days, 7 yards deep and huddle. And even if they huddle, they're 3 yards, which is probably cool because you can just yell at the other team or, stuff like that. Ask them how their family's doing, all that kind of good stuff. But overall, the game has speeded up and they've just added more plays. When you get a defense, and Coach can tell you more about this, but when you get a defense playing 90 plays, well, that's rough. That is rough. So,
It's completely changed the game. 'Cause,
Yeah.
The average probably 20 years ago would have been somewhere in the high 60s. So you got defenses playing a third more game
yeah.
than what they used to. It is a different game.
Less rest in between, less everything. So that's the reason you see so many people shuttling people in and out. I think that'll be one thing that'll change. You think if they do play at this, they'll probably get their plays in that 60 range. So you'll just be playing as many plays as you did in the old days, but you'll just have a shorter clock. I think that it will catch on. They're doing some interesting stuff with extra points. You can either go for 1, 2, or 3 extra points. There's no kicking. I forget what you
Really?
like. Yeah, 10. If you want to take one play from the 10-yard line, if you get it in, it's 3 points. I think 5 or something like that is 2, and from the 2-yard line, it's 1 point. And anything that takes kickers out of the game is a good thing. I'm
I've
not.
always thought they ought to give them points for hitting the post because, that's
happening
that's
so much
hard.
now. Yeah.
I don't know. Some kickers do it on a regular basis.
How fast do you think are going to be playing in the SEC West now with what's happened in Mississippi?
Yeah, it'll expand it even more. You're right.
People have no idea that what's coming on the offensive side because you got Lane, which is a brilliant offensive mind, and you got Mike Leach. Ooh, defenses are in trouble. They're in trouble. I'm telling you, those guys will eat you up.
And Arkansas is probably sitting over there going, God, why couldn't we hire somebody?
Yeah, and they're probably going a little bit of the opposite. They got Sam, which is an excellent recruiter, outstanding recruiter. And that's what the best thing your head coach needs to be is a recruiter. And he will get big athletes. He will have some big offensive and defensive linemen. And they'll eventually become the thug team in the West because you see Alabama moving away from that too.
And speaking of Alabama, let's talk about our buddy Nick Saban running the score up on Michigan. Did you enjoy that?
I'll probably say that you probably say as an observer or a fan, yeah, you enjoyed that. But as a coach,
I just thought it was kind of interesting. It kind of surprised me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, there's no doubt no doubt in my mind. It was aimed at Harbaugh because Saban doesn't do that. Most people maybe don't understand. He has always taken a knee as far as I can remember, and he's always called the dogs off when he's gotten a big lead, more so than most, I think.
When you got somebody that's complaining about you in your conference,
Yep. Yeah. He was making a point, which
and
that is very much like
and
safety.
it was about the player who scored the touchdown. Actually, was the main thing to look at too. He was heavily recruited by Michigan, but decided to go to Alabama, and that's when Harbaugh opened his mouth up about everything, and so Saban sent him a little message back.
And now that running back's decided to come back to Alabama, not go to the NFL, which was interesting and a surprise. So good point.
Just come to think of it, both Harbaughs have taken big loss in the last month.
Well, you know, LSU, who just won a national championship, the word is their defensive coordinator is going to be Baylor's new head coach. There's also speculating that up to 9 players are going to be declaring for the draft. So
Is that all the ones that Beckham paid?
well, yeah. I mean, most of them are receivers, and of course, the quarterback he's gone anyway because
The quarterback's coach gone to Carolina.
NFL, right?
So
Yeah, Odell Beckham is some hot water, a little slap on the tushy to
Security
security guards.
actually, it was a
handing
policeman.
out possibly
No,
fake money
security guard.
at the end of the
And-
game. NCAA violation. So, no,
What's the security guard doing in the locker room?
I have no idea.
What are they doing that, Coach? I remember when nobody got in the locker room.
They said that the reason security guards came in was they smelled the cigar smoke. That was the main reason for them to come in. They threatened to have some of the players arrested.
But they were quickly hushed on that.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the videos online, they were told to drop that instantly.
Well, that's something that Alabama could use against Tennessee if Tennessee beat them in Tuscaloosa.
Sending the cigar police.
To go in. Because what happens at the end of a Tennessee-Alabama game?
Yes, a tradition.
To the winner.
Well,
That's tradition, right?
Coach, you've been guilty of that.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't slap any security guards.
No,
on
you
the-
didn't. No, I wasn't.
Our
I was referring to
SROs would not
cigars,
appreciate that.
Not to slap on the tushy. I wouldn't. No.
Was it an off-duty officer?
I think so.
He was in uniform.
Was he?
Yeah.
So he was which they're never off duty. That'll get ugly. I'm glad I'm not politically involved with that. There's certain in the SEC outside of Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt's not going to break any rules for anything. There's very few places where the program doesn't come before all in the SEC, and that guard will have problems from that probably.
Yeah.
And it may not. It may be somebody. One of his supervisors may have saw it, and his high school girlfriend, lost her to a football player in the state's football. But they shouldn't allow. And a lot of it is they want to be around the celebration, so they're hired, so they let them. But in all locker rooms I was ever in, they let nobody in. Security, nobody came in. They locked the door, and you don't come in. You could bang all you want, and they wasn't going to let you in. That's because the locker rooms are either there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of things in there that shouldn't be let out. That's the reason they have that cooling down period, so people can get themselves back in. Because if you go in right after a game, there's some things that should never be out in public.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in.
Yeah. I just think we've gotten a little loose with that, and it's probably a good idea to keep everybody away. That way the coach, can address the team, and we can remind everybody we're back in civilization, and let's get everything where it should be.
Get your head on straight before you approach the media.
And that includes Odell. He shouldn't have been in there.
Oh yeah.
He's not part of the team. He should have been celebrating with an alumni. But he likes to be seen, so he should be kicked out too.
Maybe the alumni didn't want to be seen with
That's possible.
with Odell.
That's
Maybe
possible.
he needs
Maybe
to
they
hook
said-
up with Antonio Brown.
Maybe they said go on down there and celebrate with the team.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I really liked the way that Randy Moss handled that situation with
Yes,
his son.
absolutely.
He was a dad, and that's the most important thing there.
It was a class act too.
Yeah. He was a dad. He just was up there with the other moms and dads. Just enjoyed it. You never seen anything of him out.
Well, when they stuck the microphone in his face, is what he said. He said, "I'm here to support my son."
Yeah.
You know.
Just be a dad.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. In my hot little hands right here, I have, and I'm extremely upset, the top 10 football teams of high school over the past decade, nationwide. Not once is Columbia Central High School 2010 5A championship team mentioned. But I'm putting them as number 11.
Very good. That'll be good.
So,
That's a good number, Coach.
Yeah, that's
number
right.
1, Mater D, out of San Diego, California, 2017. They were 15-0. Head coach, Bruce Rawlinson. Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, number 2 at 2016. They were 15-0. Booker T. Washington out of Miami. That was 2013 team, number 3. Head coach Tim Harris with a record of 14-0. Don Bosco Prep out of Ramsey, New Jersey, 2011. Head coach Greg Toll. From Allen, Texas, 2013. Head coach Tom Westerberg, number 5. Number 6, IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida, 2016. A record of 11-0. We were better than that.
Yeah, they must not play. They're in that special division.
They probably
the
have
independent.
trouble lining people up to play.
And they probably don't have a state championship they
Probably
play
not.
in.
Number 7, St. John Bosco, Bellflower, California, 2013, with a record of 16-0. Most impressive stat: snapped De La Salle's 40-game winning streak to win the school's first CIF state title, with notable wins over Mater D in Santa Ana, California twice, Chandler, Arizona, and Centennial Corona, California. That was St. John Bosco, Bellflower.
They made a movie about that.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 8, Katy, Texas, 2015. Head coach Gary Joseph with a record of 16-0. Number 9, North Shore, Houston, 2018. Head coach John Kay, a record of 16-0. And number 10, mentioned twice in this thing, St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California, 2019, record of 13-1. Columbia Central High School, I'm putting at number 11, 2010. Head coach Vance Ballou, championship, state 5A.
You're too kind.
We
Deserve
were
it, coach.
13-2.
That's right, 13-2.
Yeah.
And the 2 losses,
Tullahoma
and Lincoln County. And
other
when did we
places.
change quarterbacks? After
the-
Lincoln County.
After Lincoln County.
Yep.
Good coaching, huh?
Oh, it was great coaching. It was great coaching.
Well,
we were down there in Lincoln County, and Eddie looked at the team, came out. He said, "We're going to lose this one." I said, "How do you figure we're going to lose this one?" He said, "I can just tell by the way they're warming up." And ladies and gentlemen, it's Maurice Patton. Yay!
I was waiting the drum roll.
Keep on waiting, Bubba.
Story of my life.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. How are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Hey, we're doing all right.
Sorry I'm late.
No, we were just kind of catching up on stuff, and Bruno's gone to St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah, and he's doing his thing, and Vance has got a new daughter-in-law coming, and we're just kind of catching up on what's going on.
All
What happened to
sorts.
you? What happened to you over the holidays? Anything spectacular?
No.
Okay, then we'll move on to something else.
There we go. Hang on though before we get it. You've probably already touched on this. When does that start?
February the 9th is our first game. It's the week after the Super Bowl.
That's right. Okay. Who will they play?
The first game is Dallas,
Where?
in Dallas.
You
The
going?
I won't go the first 2 games. I try. It's still like the SEC. I mean, you know, I got a job, and they don't look kindly if you get in trouble in other stadiums. So I try to stay out and just watch it on. But you know, truly and honestly, it's always been better to watch on TV for me because I can focus in and I don't have to answer questions or I don't have to worry about being rude and ignoring somebody. I can just watch the game. Which
You rude?
Yeah.
Ignoring somebody?
yeah. Well, you know, when I as we discussed before the show started, I discovered I'm not as much of a football fan as I am
A Bruno
a
fan?
Raegen fan. So when I go watch volleyball, I'm watching my daughter. If it's not set to her, I'll see what the referee scored.
less.
Yeah, I'm only watching my daughter. I do that with Bruno. I key in, only watch him. And
That's why wrestling works so well for
wrestling,
us.
wrestling works real well.
Because there's only two people.
Yeah, two people. So, but yeah, it's really exciting. He's did really well. I mean, it's a really talented league. I don't know if you know the quarterback from Ole Miss. What's his name? Jordan. I can't remember. He's a Samoan guy, I believe.
Last couple of years?
Yeah. He's up there also. I don't know if he's starting or not. I don't think they've released a depth chart. But Maurice Bruno, of course, he was one of the few guys, or only guy, one of the two that didn't have NFL experience. So he said he was probably down at the bottom of the depth chart when he got there, and I think he's been starting since the first week.
Yes.
To no one's surprise.
Yeah, he always rises up. I mean,
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Could you please repeat what you said?
don't ask me, guys. I've never had it set up. Maybe it recognizes Maurice's voice, isn't it?
Hey.
There's a story here somewhere.
And,
I ain't going there.
Maybe Maurice, Siri recognizes him everywhere.
oh, no, I don't think so. That's great, though. That's great news.
He's doing real well.
Good.
I mean, it's been, been catching little videos. I mean, it's typical Bruno when you call him, "How you doing?" Good, But
Short and to the
he'll
point.
he'll give in some and give us descriptions of what happened. If we want to talk football, but there's some really good things I was telling about the league. It's going to be much faster. Games are supposed to be about 2.5 hours. They got a 25-second clock.
No kickers.
Well, they kick off, but their kickoff
But what I'm
is done.
saying is,
Yeah.
no
Extra point.
no extra point kickers.
Yeah, it's going to be a one. What is it? A 1-3. I told you 1, 2, or 3 extra point, and you have to go for it. It'll be the ball will be on 2, the 5, or the 10.
Oh, wow.
So you can make big comebacks.
So basically,
What do you think
it's
of
like,
that, Cole?
I think it's interesting.
basically, it's like rugby. Just throw everything you know about football out the window
Yeah.
and
Well,
go from
to
there.
stop the collision on kickoffs,
Yeah.
both of them are going to be stationed 5 yards apart, and they can't get out of that until the actual
Wow.
returner catches the ball. So you're going to have elite level returners who are going to have 20-yard starts. You're going to have a ton of runbacks.
Wow.
So
Sounds like it's going to be fun.
Should be.
I hope to get to watch some of the games, but
Oh, yeah.
we know what I'll be doing, to
Oh, I
focus
know.
in on.
When St. Louis is playing, we'll be watching.
Oh, yeah. And they got a good TV contracts. I think they're on Fox, ESPN. So
Cool.
Good deal.
most of the games will be televised.
All right.
Well, that's good. Well, let's talk about the Mid-State Classic.
Mid-State Classic, it's that time of year.
How many, this is what, 6th year for that?
This will be the 6th time.
Okay. All right.
So it's been going good. We're bringing back Natalie Poole and her Memphis squad, and University of Tennessee will be coming in, of course. They'll be playing. And we're really looking forward to it. 2 good teams. Just excellent programs to deal with.
Does Natalie take the attitude of if we play a better team like the University of Tennessee, we become better ourselves? Because last time they got their hat handed to them.
I know they weren't pleased with the way they played last time because they come in really hot. And there was a lot of concern on the other side of just how good they were playing. And they didn't really play well. So, she was a little disappointed. So they come in to win. They're not coming to be a show or sign up or, although we put on a good show for them, I'm sure they enjoy it, but they're coming here to win a softball game. So it'll be
However, I
interesting.
will say this. Natalie played the University of Tennessee. Auburn did not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. She has no
dig
fears.
there.
When you get to talking about you want to find a team for them to play,
Right.
if you just don't want to look and you want to come down, you call her because she's always willing to play. She doesn't in our business. She doesn't turn down a fight. She's going to come and fight. So sort of respect that.
Now, I know at one time or at various times there's been talk about maybe making that an all-SEC matchup, getting an SEC team in here to play Tennessee that doesn't play them in regular season on a conference weekend or whatever. Is that still
They have
a
tried
goal?
to do that, and it's not been able to get it lined up yet. I think that Ralph will eventually get that game set up, but Tennessee's had such good recruiting classes, and they're so talented. A lot of people don't want to play them, So they bring in a very talented squad, and a lot of people just sort of shy away. Like I say, but you don't have to worry about that with Memphis,
Right.
with Natalie. She's coming.
The most impressive thing, I mean, we get good teams in here to play University of Tennessee, but just the facilities alone, the way that we've improved those facilities, I say we, but the way that the facilities
The
have
city
been
of
improved.
Columbia, yeah.
Well, I might as well say we because I'm
Yeah.
part of this thing, and so is
Yep.
Eddie. How it's been improved from year one. The first year, we froze to death up on a lift. And then all the way to improved where you got a press box, and it's nice. and
Permanent bleachers.
Permanent bleachers. Great sound system now that we put out there. Alex takes care of that for us. And it has really turned into, now it's an event.
Yes, it is. It's a major event. It's, not to take anything away from you, it's one of the top softball games that you'll see
Right.
played that year. I mean, we'll have a big, huge crowd. We'll sell, 2,000-3,000 tickets, and you just don't see that a lot. So it's a major event. Very seldom where you're going to go see a game where they, come out and they'll play and then they'll sign autographs after. I don't know if you recognized last year, but Philip Fulmer signed autographs probably for an hour and a half, before he left, just continuously.
No, I'm sorry. We were busy in the press box doing the game.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of your
We
job.
heard about it.
But we heard about it.
I do think it's really nice, though, the commitment that Ralph and Karen and the UT
Yes.
program have made to this event.
Yeah, I mean, and we try to do everything we can. We try to treat them like it's the national championship game.
Absolutely.
We try to throw everything we can at them, do everything we can to make everything just perfect for them.
Well, we've all become friends with the broadcasting team that comes down from UT, and really great guys that do all that. And we're all, anything they need, we take care of it for them. Anything they ask, we got it there. So it's no big problem. But that's the camaraderie that develops over years' time, over 6 years, that we've been doing this is fantastic.
Yeah, they're awesome. They really are easy to work with. And I'll drop a little bit of news here for you. I know most of you have probably heard about our dog park grant.
Yep.
From the Boyd Foundation.
Yep.
We all know what Redney Boyd does right now. He works at the University of Tennessee.
Right.
He's sort of got a very important position up there. But what's really cool is we're going to do our ribbon cutting that day. So he'll come down to the ribbon cutting on his private foundation that he did, which we were one of the grand prize winners for. Really nice dog park. And afterwards, he's going to throw out the first pitch for our NCAA game. So it's really cool. We get both things done at once. So it's really awesome.
Two birds, one stone.
Two birds, one stone.
There
Two
you
big
go.
birds.
Now, the dog park is going to be in Murray County Park, so this is kind of a joint venture, correct?
Yeah, what they've done, we signed a MOU, memo of understanding. We actually are taking over it's actually a city park, but they've allowed us to use it. We're going to build a dog park, which we got the grant monies for.
Right.
And they'll police the area, stuff like that, but it'll actually be a city park. And
It's going where the Babe Ruth ballpark used to be.
Actually, no, it's going right below the Rotary shelter. If you go out, the fence has already been installed.
All right.
And I believe the bid process completed. If it's not, it's in the process of being done as far as the equipment. But on March 17th, it'll be running wide open. It'll be awesome. You won't see a nicer dog park
Good.
anywhere.
Well, I won't be out there that day. Unfortunately, I'll be at the Ridley Complex.
Well, I will. I'll
Taking
be.
care of business.
Yeah, I'll be about. Well, you might. No, yeah.
See, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Oh,
Eddie and I got work to do.
When you're good, you're good. So,
So Tuesday, March 17th, we try to get it a little bit later if we can, but unfortunately we have to stick in that March.
That's correct.
You
I
know.
mean, and actually March is probably right in the middle or 40th percentile of when the season begins. They're playing games in February, so they'll come in here, for playing almost a month.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody thinks it has to be. It's not like rec league where it's hot when you play your softball. They play the whole seasons. It'll start out be cold. It'll be warm when they finish.
And for the 6th year in a row, the ticket price, ladies and gentlemen, is still only $10.
Yeah, well, my years it's been $10, and I don't know what it was before I got
It was
here.
$10.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with what you say. But right now it is $10. So
Where on earth can you find entertainment of this value for only $10?
you won't. Plus, you'll be able to get an autograph from almost every player there if you wanted them. So
I haven't gotten an
staff-
autograph one yet.
We haven't jumped in line.
No.
It starts.
No.
Well, we're tearing down good equipment.
We're tired. We're home.
Well, hopefully you're at least tired and fed.
Well, yeah. It's always a good day out there. I mean, that is, and I've got to say, you guys run a class operation,
Yep.
and it runs good. He's always coming in the press box saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Hey, going great.
Well,
Place hadn't burned down yet. We hadn't torn anything up.
we want everybody who comes to feel like they've had that big time experience.
Exactly.
Because I grew up, I've told you, I grew up in a small town, really poor family, preacher's man's son. Never got to see a lot of events like this until I got good enough to get recruited. Then I got to experience it. That's what we're trying to give back. Because, for, a parent, 4 kids, you could take, all 4 of them out there for $40, watch
Sure.
the game, get a seat. Absolutely the best athletes in their game play. So that's what we try to do, try to make it an event, like you say, make it, have it where it's something they'll remember. Hopefully that little girl that's coming with her dad and mom will someday come back with University of Tennessee or University of Memphis and play at Ridley Park. So
And the early game is
Columbia State.
Get Martin.
And Martin Methodist.
They're playing. They're not playing. I think Martin Methodist is actually a Division II program. So that's really cool that they're doing that. And Johnny and them are really moved up to. They like that challenge of it. That's always an incredible game. Begins at 1 o'clock.
Martin had a lot of success last year. They had a really good player from Columbia Academy who played the previous year at Columbia State, Sabrina Gillum.
So
I think
she'll
she
be
was an
back, won't she?
All-American. She should be a senior on this team. So
Yeah.
Now, tickets go on sale
Tuesday.
the 21st.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
You can purchase them online this year.
Oh, can you?
Oh, yes. You can go on our website. You'll be able to go online with the operating system, post them. Alex is going to have a video up that shows you how to register, where you can just go and picture them. You can keep the scan on your phone just like you're going to a Titans game, or bring a printout of it and we'll scan it and you can walk in. So you won't have to come stand in line. You can actually do it, sitting at your couch, however you want.
You can call the office at 931-388-8119 or online at columbiatn.com/Midstate Classic, period.
And it will be live that day. And everybody's going to freak out and call me in the morning and say, hey, it's not up, it's not working. We've got it actually protected so nobody can go on and
Okay.
purchase early.
So about what time?
7:30
Tuesday morning?
a.m.
There you
It'll
go.
go live.
On the 21st.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully we don't crash the system. I was just sitting here.
Yeah.
It would
Let's
be
get
a-
those phone calls in today.
Yeah, it wouldn't that be awesome?
Technology is a beautiful thing when it works. huh?
Yeah, but it would be
It
awesome.
sucks when it don't.
I'm sure I'm sure that won't be an issue with just
No,
a couple thousand people.
But seriously, though, get your tickets early because they do so
They
fast.
do go fast, and you know how it is. I'll have somebody call afterwards, and we just don't have room for so many people.
Now, we will say this. If you do have your own chair, you're not going to be able to sit in front of the folks who do have tickets that are sitting in the bleachers.
Yeah, you can't even bring your own chair.
No.
Yeah, because it's all circular
Right.
area. So can't bring your chair. A lot of people are upset that they couldn't bring their umbrellas in. It's just a simple reason. You can't bring your umbrella in there's a safety issue.
Sure.
And then there's a vision issue. You can't see in front of you. Because this is competitive athletics, and I know it's hard to believe, but sometimes people get upset.
No.
It does happen. So, you don't want them to have a piece of steel in their hand. So we,
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
That's true.
How many tickets could y'all sell?
We could sell somewhere between 28 and 3,000, and we're going to try to upgrade it a little bit. We're going to try to push it up even a little higher, bring in some different types of bleachers and things like that. But the grass is already green. We already got the grass flipped over.
But the biggest improvement that you made, and we thank you from the press box, is moving the scoreboard to where we can actually see it.
Yeah, that wasn't easy. That wasn't easy.
I know it wasn't easy, but thank you.
You want to see the scoreboard?
Oh, yeah? You think?
Yeah.
You know, there were some things done when it was originally built that,
Right.
you know, wasn't made for the highest level. It was made more for recreation, and
Right.
we've changed that as we went. I mean, heck, we're having, 82 events there a year. Economic impacts is pushing up close to $17-18 million a year
Really?
for the area. Yeah,
Wow.
it's incredible.
Now, your soccer fields are open now, too.
Soccer field opened up, and the day it opened up, this is no lie, no advertising, no nothing. We pretty much filled up.
Wow.
So
Just
how many can you hold in soccer fields?
Oh, as far as if we have an event like this,
Yeah.
we get up close to 5,000. We'll build around it. So, but a lot of that stuff is going to have to be worked out when we come. But we're really looking to do an event like that, and that would really be nice. Even looked at possibly a U23 European team, which would bring people not only from our area, it'd bring people from the 5-6 hours away that'd be willing to travel for something like that. And they've reached out to us about a year ago when the professional league was announced it's going to start, and that's a Vandy guy. So hopefully we can work that out.
Any chance of getting the Nashville Soccer Club down here for an exhibition?
Not for an exhibition, because their exhibitions will take place in their stadium. They're not.
Okay.
They're going to play those in that stadium they pay for.
Oh,
But we
the
have.
stadium that hasn't been built.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be on Vanderbilt's campus, by the way.
Spoken like a true Vandy fan.
Well, economically, that would be
Yeah.
the best thing for them to do is build it there and sign a real good brother-in-law use agreement with them and
Yeah.
make money for both programs. But they have. I sent a thing up to them requesting that they look at possibly a camp, and that has not been said no to. And
Really?
so I'm drawing up some business plan with it and how it could benefit them and how it could benefit us, and that's something we wanted. But like I said, right now we have no open dates, even for next year. All the dates are gone.
Really?
I have 2 Sundays open. I think it is. It may be one Saturday, but 2 Sundays I know that are days that are open, as far as they can use it. And we got some really exciting things coming with the park that'll really help as far as transportation, things like that.
Now, you guys charge for the use of those fields, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That we do charge for use of fields, but our biggest thing is through economic impact.
Right.
If you play a small amount and you bring 5,000 people into the city of Columbia,
Sure.
the economic impact of that hits almost $1 million. Now, that doesn't only help the city of Columbia through tax dollars, but that also helps your local restaurants, your local stores, your hotels, everything of that nature. So economic impact is actually something that's probably more important than the check you receive. So, and it's something we really pushed, and it was something that I actually had expertise in, and I communicated with other cities about when I was a consultant, is about increasing that. So when I hit here, it's something I really wanted to do. I want to take as much money as I can from outside organizations and give it to the city of Columbia. That's our goal. So that's the big thing. I mean, the way we do that, we provide outstanding play surfaces, and we provide a good environment. And you just if you provide something where people have a good time, they're going to be upset because everybody who loses is going to have some upset. But you want them to come back,
Right.
feel good about the experience. And if you do that, you do your job.
Right.
And going along with that, and one of the reasons that Murfreesboro lost the state championship was because they did not adapt that state championship with the local restaurants and all of that at that particular time. And so they ended up losing it to Cookville. Do you have your events to where they end basically where they can go enjoy the restaurants and that after the event is over? I mean, time-wise.
Yeah, but it depends upon the actual sport you're playing.
Okay.
That how much they'll spend. I mean, there's different economic calculators for all sports. football is a moneymaker in the South as far as college football, but it doesn't make a lot of money in any other sport.
Right.
I mean, you got to have the feeder organization, but it just doesn't make the money. I don't know how it is in high school, but there's really not a lot of recreation football that makes it all lose money or tries to be just self-sustaining. Your soccer organizations, they're out, or soccer, volleyball, those types of. I mean, heck, I think we spent close to probably $15,000 last year on my daughter's senior year on travel volleyball. And we spent a ton on soccer. They're just money. They're just sports that brings money with them,
Those situations where you've got, excuse me, hotel stays and that kind of thing. That's the big driver
that's
in
where
terms of your economic impact right there.
Because if they're not staying in hotels, there's a big chance they're not buying gas. If they're not buying gas, there's a big chance they're not eating. But if they're staying at the hotel, they will base their trip around, we got time here, so when they're not as quick to fill up gas before they leave town, they'll say, I got enough to get me there. And then when they get there, they'll fill up, they'll eat, and all that kind of things. So your travel sports like that are really, really popular. Team sports has seen a decline overall, but in travel sports, it's actually seen an increase. So they're about the same amount of people playing sports. It's just they're playing a different type. There's the same game, but one's for recreation, fun, having a good time, and one is actually to compete. And you're seeing the number of the people who compete go on.
Would it make it easier for Parks and Recreation to have the Marriott built where it's going to be built?
It's going to be a game changer. Yes, okay. It's a big deal, and I believe that had something to do with it. I want to believe that because that's within a 10-minute drive roughly from the actual. And you don't want to stay much closer than 10 minutes. You don't want to get up right next to your hotel and then go to it. You want to have a little bit of a distance from you.
But then again, where you are now,
it's too much.
It's 20, 25 minutes out.
Yeah, and if it takes you, the average time to get into a park on a travel event is usually 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Right.
And I know we all want to see something back quicker at Ridley, but with the introduction of having police officers out there assisting, we were getting in out of the park within 15 minutes. Now, our local soccer organization has an incredible impact on the community as far as financially. There's a lot of state, it's called local impact that's being pushed right now through NRPA, National Recreation Association. Sorry to get along with it, but the economic impact of a team of, you think they have 1,000 people, I think they have 1,200 to play year round, and that splits up both fall and summer. You think of those people going to practice every day, stopping and eating on the way, all the things that takes place. There's actually a calculator being formulated to see what that is. And, that's something we'll utilize not only at Ridley, but we'll utilize it in all of our other parks that have athletic fields.
Right.
It's just making money for your community.
But the upgrades that you've made out there have been phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate that, but we got to give credit to the moneymakers. Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying that just the conception of Ridley Park and then what you guys have done to add to it with the soccer fields and the parking and all of that. I mean, all the way down to the guys that stripe the thing. I mean, it really looks nice.
For what we have as a size, it's about as nice as park as you'll see. I'll put it up against anybody. And when I was traveling and, scoring all these grants and evaluating all these parks, I always had these eyes of the same things I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to concession stand to be elevated and restrooms be elevated. That way, if a parent has to take one kid to the restroom while his other kid's playing, that he's right there and he can watch the game instant he comes out of the restroom. And that's something we see. If a coach has got 5 teams playing, if they're travel organizations, he can watch all 5 teams playing from setting up there and, while eating lunch. The tournament director can walk out. If he's got a problem there, he can instantly. If it's an officer, there's a problem on field 3, he can instantly see field 3, have visual sight line, easily access. The actual parking surrounds the park, that way kids don't have to run across the parking lot or a road that's traveled to get into it. There's a lot of things we really implemented. And then again, we went with a different type of grass. We went with a cold weather Bermuda, which gives us less die-off, and it's really just come in well. It just gives us an extra 30 days in the spring, an extra 30 days in the fall play. So it allows us to play more, which allows us to bring more tournaments in, which brings in more money. So
Well,
it's
good. Give me some of that grass. I put it on my house in Riverside. Because I can't grow anything over there but dirt.
So what
When you
you've
put it
got
in the
that's
yard?
green right now is Bermuda?
no, the green right now is not Bermuda. It went dormant in November.
Okay, I got you.
Now it will start to come out a little bit earlier than the other
got you.
Bermuda, and it kicks up. And what we're eventually planning on doing is taking this grass about every 3 to 5 years. They recommend you phase mow it, and you'll know about that, Coach. You basically just give it a buzz cut, and we will take those sprigs and transport them to other fields, not only at Ridley, but at Fairview, at the park behind Cox, all these places, and we'll get this new grass established there, and it'll eventually just take over. It just makes everything better.
But we've got to give credit to your grounds folks.
Amazing.
With City of Columbia.
Amazing.
So name off who you got that does that.
Byron actually handles the turf grass management. Byron Ferris. He actually started the park, got everything established, and we've gotten so big that he's handling turf management citywide for us.
Really?
So he'll go work on other fields and help bring those fields up. A lot of these user agreements we have, they just don't have the ability to put the time or the expertise in it. So he will go in and assist them and bring about a higher quality playing surface across the board. And Michael moved over from us from the fire department a couple of years. He now handles the actual maintenance crew out there. So we've got a good crew that's working together, and it's all hands on deck. Every person in my staff will work the Mid-State Classic, So it's not only on my staff, basically the police department, the fire department. We're going to borrow somebody's.
It's a concentrated effort for everybody.
Like you last year, we had somebody from personnel come over to help keep the books.
Yeah.
So it's never ending. It's it's a team effort.
Well, from us, thank you, because it's a fun day.
Oh, it's awesome.
We have a blast. And us being retired, that makes it a whole lot better.
Who was it that was on the cruise last year?
I don't know.
That was the year before last.
Was it year 4 last?
Yeah, that was Memphis.
That's right. You were on the cruise.
Yeah.
Come
Any
on.
cruises in your future?
Not on March 17th. But yes.
Hey, talk to me afterwards. I got some stuff for you.
All right.
We'll give you a little inside access and stuff. Travel with us, show off the event, and you can talk about it from a sporting type event if you want to.
All right. Sounds good. Little inside information.
Little
good.
working vacation for you, maybe.
Hey, there's no such thing.
Oh, those don't exist. They do not exist. But that's coming up on March 17th. That's on Tuesday. Always on a Tuesday.
That's Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
They prefer to play on Tuesday, but we set most days aside for them at the beginning because that's the days that they had opening.
Because they typically travel on Thursday if they're playing away.
Or weekends.
Yeah, a weekend series away. So.
And they have to fight that 20-hour rule, which I never had to deal any with that.
Really?
Yeah, there's a 20-hour rule that they have to fight in college athletics now, and it really affects them. So it's not just saying, hey, do you want to play? They have, and not only that, there's only so many hours the bus driver can transport. So they're on a tight schedule.
Yeah.
So everything's just like 1 second after the other.
Transportation Department nationally is really cracking down on truck drivers and bus drivers.
This is what that falls
Yeah.
under.
Yeah.
So, which is a safety thing. So.
Well, it's a safety thing too, and that's what the band is running into at Columbia Central is the fact that guys who used to pull their trailer were truckers, and they couldn't work their regular jobs and pull the trailer on the weekends because they're over their time limit. Yeah, so National Transportation Safety Board been doing some cracking down on
And
that.
they don't play with
They
it.
don't play.
Yeah.
So the game is on March 17th. Will there be any green beverages at Ridley Park?
Green.
Yeah.
St.
St.
Patrick's
Patrick's
Day.
Day, big boy.
I am Irish.
Yeah, we know that.
That's almost it's a
I think
religion.
that's why the question was directed to you.
Well, I'm sure that there'll probably be some green beverages, but they just won't be the alcohol beverages.
Okay.
So that's above Reagan's pay grade.
I'm
or
out,
just,
Changes everything, doesn't it?
let's be honest,
I'm outta
though.
here, Skippy.
It's St. Patrick's Day, and the game will be over 7:30.
It ain't never been over at 7:30.
It'll be over 7:30. 2 hours.
How many times have we been over?
I'll bet you a green beverage it won't be over by
How many times
7.
do we go into extra innings?
Oh, on the
1 o'clock.
Columbia State.
Okay, but that rolls over into extra time.
Well, we've got a big, that's the reason we went almost 4 hours between games.
I know.
And it almost wasn't enough 2 years ago, was it?
It wasn't. No, it was not.
I was stressed out. I
Yes,
was
you
like,
were.
I went from go see State, like just anybody get a run.
Somebody win this thing.
I'm back there praying, and it seemed like, when you thought it was over there to come back, which is awesome.
It was a great game. I'll say
Think
that.
about it from, and we host Columbia State soccer program. Shout out to them.
Right,
They just had an awesome year. I want to think that, hope that we had something, we assisted them in that because they play their home games at Ridley, which is really awesome. But when you think that they get to play a game, and last year by the time the game ended, there was over 1,000 fans there. How many junior colleges have a game that last year with 1,000 people in attendance? So it's a really good thing we provide for them. And,
Absolutely.
and we're happy, and we're thankful that, they help us work that out. Johnny's always been outstanding to deal with.
Okay, we'll say this. Byron Ferris. I've said your name, so,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. He always says, make sure you mention me.
Yeah.
So
Well, he has a love of the grass out there. He takes
he
care
does.
of And right now we can sort of mess with him. I think he just got back from, they had their National Turf Grass Association meeting in South Florida. So
But it may be March 17th when we play this game, but that grass is going to be green.
it'll be as green.
It's going to look good.
And it'll be so thick,
Yeah.
It'll be like carpet. Infield is already prepared. We got a lot of new equipment that'll really help us with that. City council put a thing in, a mower and a tractor in that'll cut our mowing time down to about a third. So we'll not only be able to mow faster, we'll be able to mow more. So
And wait a minute, there's an ad for that.
yeah,
It's on how fast you mow. It's
How well you mow fast.
yeah. So what it does, it allows you not to mow it more and more, and the more you beat up Bermuda, the better your grass plays. Because I'm not going to go into Bermuda grass, but it just helps. It makes it better playable.
It's a resilient grass.
Very resilient.
You don't want it in your garden, though.
No.
But while we're on the subject, Wayne Lindsay at Murray County Parks does a wonderful job with our field out there for Lindsay Nelson, doesn't he, Coach?
He
That looks
does.
good out there now.
Outstanding, yes, absolutely. Always has for many years now.
So March 17th.
Yes, sir.
It's
Hey,
rolling
that's just
time.
going to be just around the corner.
No, it's going to be here for a minute. Tickets go on sale Tuesday.
I know that. Yeah, the
Well,
21st.
yeah.
And you can get them online.
Online at the Rainey House. You can call in and order them over the phone at the Rainey House if you need
Okay.
to. But you'll be able, and there'll be a video show you how to log in and do it.
And at the
please,
Rainey House, you take cash, check.
Credit
Credit
card. And don't wait till
The last
the
minute.
last minute, because otherwise you're going to have Mac going crazy that he needs 50 tickets and he don't have 50 tickets to sell.
Yeah, and I got to be the bad guy, say we just don't have them.
That's right.
That's not a good situation, especially when it's teams. That's really bad.
And keep in mind, I can't stand out there and scalp these tickets,
no.
because I have to do my job inside the press box. So there'll be no scalping on my part.
So you
this
won't
year.
be buying them up? And
Well,
and
not saying I
selling
won't
them
buy them up, and I'm just saying I won't be scalping. I won't be scalping them.
Have another man out
Well-
there. Need tickets?
That's right.
I won't be purchasing tickets. I'll be working. So I'll be like you. I'll be in there working, and I'll get my family tickets, and I'll see
Right now,
them.
basketball around the county.
well,
Kind of give us an update.
well, I'll give you one significant update, I guess. Saturday, McDonald's shootout, Columbia Central at Spring Hill. 6 o'clock girls game, guys follow. Tickets will be on sale tomorrow at both Spring Hill and Columbia Central in the front office until 1:30 tomorrow at Spring Hill, until 3 at Columbia Central. They're $5 a piece. The game will be preceded by an alumni game for the second year. Those tickets are only available at the door and that's a
Really?
separate ticket from the high school game.
So in other words, you get that ticket, and then once that game is over with, you got to walk out.
You got to walk out. They're going to clear the gym. So should be an interesting evening between the girls and the boys game. Spring Hill will be, they will hold a ceremony to retire the number 22 worn by former Raider baseball standout Zach King.
Okay.
He was big on that 2016 Class AA state championship team. Went on and played at Vanderbilt, won a national championship there this past year. Drafted in the 13th round this summer by the Miami Marlins, and is the first Spring Hill High School baseball player to sign a professional contract.
Really?
So,
Congratulations to all.
Absolutely.
big deal. So between games Saturday night, that ceremony will be taking place, and hope to have a pretty big turnout for that. This kid's really deserving.
And this is the 21st year for McDonald's
21st
shootout.
year, yes.
I remember the first one.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, thank you, Mo.
No, it's no. I mean, I just wasn't here.
Yeah, I
That's
know you
all.
weren't here.
Yeah, but
I know.
yeah.
I know.
What I didn't realize, well, I don't want to say didn't realize. I was reminded this week, and I knew it when I wrote about it a few years ago. That '99 game, that was the first time that Central and Spring Hill had played
Right.
since 1967. Why were they not playing?
Well, part of it would be Spring Hill used to be really small. They were single A
Yeah.
Right.
all the way up to late 80s, maybe.
Yeah.
Something around there.
Little
Yeah.
thing called
Yeah,
GM
you
moved to town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at one time,
Yeah.
Central used to play Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Well,
And used to play Mount Pleasant.
yeah,
Used to
yeah.
play CMA.
They used to play the single
Well,
before.
we were all in District 22.
Before
It seemed like.
we went to classifications.
Okay.
And that kind of, I guess, just got out of vogue when they went to classifications, and they stopped doing, except for Mount Pleasant and Central played.
They played for
Someday.
several more
And
years.
those were big games.
That's what I've heard.
And they would pack the old Mount Pleasant gym.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, the fire marshal wouldn't say a word. They just let them all line up on the sidelines.
And hope it didn't burn, huh?
Exactly. But they were. I remember 69 and 70 going down to those games. They were just huge.
Yeah, I don't.
There's usually a chance of a fight and everything else.
No,
You know.
not in sports.
No, we won't talk about that.
The Mount Pleasant.
No.
Not
It was
about
in the parking
players.
lot.
We're
Well,
not talking about
in
the
the
players.
gym.
We're talking about the
No.
fans.
My sophomore year, I got to dress for a Christmas tournament down in Mount Pleasant. The Mount Pleasant boys from CMA and the Mount Pleasant players were fighting in the hallway where we were coming out because we had come out the same way. But I'll never forget when we lined up to come out, their student body didn't line up at the door they came out. They lined up at ours and was grabbing us and slapping and everything else. I was scared to death. I mean,
Fun times.
Sounds like.
actually, it made
Did
me
your
grow
locker
up.
room? Did your
And
locker room
I
get broken?
learned,
Yeah.
you know, and I learned that helped me, and I actually got to enjoy playing.
Did your locker room
Atmosphere.
get broken into during the night?
No,
That's amazing.
It is. Yeah. Or your car get turned over out in the parking lot.
No, it'd
we
be
were in a
bus.
bus.
All right.
Tough to turn those
Every
over.
time we went to Castle Heights, our bus got the tires cut.
There you go. Fun times.
That gets a little costly.
True.
But
Guys, it's been a good show. Mack Raegen, thank you for coming in.
Well, let's do this again before the Mid-State Classic and do a wrap-up.
Sounds good.
And thank you for not firing us.
It's nice to know that we're not fired.
Well, before you fire somebody, you got to realize that how you going to replace them. So
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Smart man.
For everybody on the show, have a good evening, everybody.